Hi, good morning, or afternoon, or whenever you feel like watching this. Just thank you for watching. So if you like books, reading, other stuff that I will eventually talk about someday, you don't mind going off on tangents every now and then welcome. My name is Candace, and today we're doing something a tad bit timely, a little bit late, but we're still on quarantine, so still works. And this is the stay-at-home booktube tag that was started by Princess of Paperback. I will link her YouTube channel and the person's YouTube channel who tagged me, which was Cozy Reads. So those videos are going to be linked in the description below, and please go check them out. And when I say that I was tagged, not directly, she tagged everyone at the end, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Princess of Paperback created this tag on April 3rd in light of what is happening now. So everything is kind of themed off of staying at home, being self-quarantined, and just kind of the life that we're living at this moment. I will have the prompts listed down below, and if after all that I still have space, I'll list the books and authors. Cool, super smooth. Okay, so jumping into it, the very first prompt is laying in bed, a book you could or have read in a day. And for that, I chose The Revenant. So if you haven't heard of the book, which if you're a booktuber person, then you most likely have. But yes, it is the same as the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, and yes, it is amazing. I can't remember if I actually did read this in a day, but I seriously could have. I normally don't like these kind of action adventure-y type books like this, but this one, oh my gosh, it was so exciting and scary and edge of your seat, suspenseful the whole way through. I absolutely loved it. It's only about 260 pages. Yes, so this, if you haven't read it yet, even if this genre is not particularly your style, you may still love this. And again, this is a pretty popular book. It was made into a Leo DiCaprio movie. So the second one is Snacking, and that is a guilty pleasure book. I had a hard time choosing this one because for me, it's not a singular book. Instead, it is actually a collection, an encyclopedia of sorts that I have owned since about high school, and so I brought out one of the volumes. This is the first volume of my Crimes and Punishment Encyclopedia, and just to give you, and I thought that it was clever too because it's like guilty pleasure and the people in here are guilty of things. So, and honestly, this is one of those where every now and then I'll just pull out a volume and I'll choose a random topic. They're so interesting. I use them a lot for school and high school. But they have like, see, like magazine and newspaper inserts from the actual events. But that is my guilty pleasure, and it's a collection of actually 28 volumes. So this is really thin, but there's 28 of them. Moving on, the next category is Netflix, a series you want to start. Now, I do not have that because it's a series that I want to start, and I haven't purchased any of it yet, but I really want to start the Star Wars entire series. Like, I know that there's multiple series within the Star Wars literature universe that you can go through, and honestly, if I could read all of them, I would enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy the movies, but I always feel as though I don't have quite enough knowledge to really be engaged in conversations and to really have the amount of input that I would like to. And I love the movies, every single one of them except Rogue One. That's the only movie that I don't like, and I think it's because it's before its time, and I think that it should have been a TV show. If we had Disney Plus back when Rogue One first came out and they had seen what you could do with The Mandalorian, I think that that would have been much better done in a TV format like The Mandalorian has. My 2 cents. So the Star Wars series, all of them, from the beginning through, I would love to be able to read those. It's just, that is something really big to commit to. I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan. I just actually love the Star Wars universe and the storylines and would love to be able to dive fully into that. Number 4 is Deep Clean. Been on your TBR for ages. And this book looks like I've owned it for ages and I've never read it, and that's Pushed by Sapphire. I saw the movie Precious and it was, that was a lot. I've always wanted to read the book. I did appreciate the movie. It was rough, but I appreciated it, and so I of course wanted to read it. And it looks like it's written, like just flipping through it, it looks like it's written in such a unique way. I know that this is going to be a rough read for me, so I've had it for years and I've never read it. So one day I will feel emotionally strong enough to pick this up, but today it's not that day, so remain on my little TBR list. Animal Crossing, which I've never played because I just don't have any interest in that. Book you recently bought because of hype. Okay, this one was kind of hard because I don't buy a lot of books, and I buy a very small amount of books typically throughout the year, so it's kind of rare that I see someone talking about a book and then I go out and I'm like, I have to buy that. But I still think that this fits, and that's In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. And the reason why I say that that still fits is because I bought this. The cover is just fabulous, like minimal, and I love the cover. But the quote, the recommendation review is, prepare to be scared, ... really scared. And that's from Reese Witherspoon. And I don't know, I'm not like I don't hate Reese Witherspoon, but I'm not her biggest fan. So I have no idea why I was like, Reese Witherspoon liked this book, I must like this book too. And also an instant New York Times bestseller. So I think that you can see it down there. I think that was enough hype for me. That's all I needed. And in addition to the cover and the spine design, it drew me in. But I am actually giving this away to a friend of mine, and I need to mail it to her. So obviously, since I haven't mailed it to you yet, but I have a box and I can send it to you now. So sorry about that. Number 6, productivity. Book you learned from or had an impact on you. This was weird because I don't read a ton of self-help, and the ones that I have kind of read, I don't know that they had a huge impact on me, but The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is a book that I did learn from, and it had a huge impact on me. I did not expect what I had gotten. My husband just woke up. I will say that it had a huge impact on me in the sense that I cried my eyes out, which it's not hard for a book or a movie or a Marriott commercial to make me cry. Yes, that last example is real. And most people probably know about this book and or have seen the movie, and as soon as I was done reading it, I forced my husband to watch the movie with me, and we both just had a moment with it. But I think that this book impacted me in the sense that, I was able to connect with a topic which is Holocaust, World War II, Germany, in a way that I hadn't before. So that's what I'll say about that. Oh, such a downer. The last one is called Facebook, and this is a book that you were gifted, and I have not started this yet, but this is a beautiful, is this one of the Barnes & Noble collectibles? I think it is. Yes, it's a Barnes & Noble version of Anna, oh my gosh, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Anna Karenina. Sorry if I pronounce that wrong, I always worry about it, by Leo Tolstoy. And it's just, oh, it's so pretty. I have a few of these, and Obviously not this exact book, but I have a few of these like collectible hardbacks, and this one I think is just so gorgeous. My mother-in-law gave it to me this past Christmas, and I've been wanting to get into Tolstoy, and this was just the perfect gift, and I absolutely love it. So the last category is self-care, and for me this really doesn't have anything to do with books. So this is where I'm going to be able to link to another one of my interests, and maybe you're interested in it too, let me know. But what is one thing you have done recently to look after yourself? And for me, that is I have started back running. I hated running. My first 2-mile run in the Army was 22 minutes and 59 seconds. And I remember that because if I would have only ran 1 second slower, I could have been in D group and been the fastest person in D group. But instead, I was in C group, and I was the slowest person in C group. So that was fun. Ever since being forced to run and then forcing myself to running cross country and track in my senior year of high school to keep my fitness up, I just love it now. And it's not, I'm not fast by any means. I used to be pretty adequate in speed. I'm definitely more of a long distance person. I just can't force my legs to do the sprinting thing. So I'm definitely long distance. For the most part, as long as I'm stubborn enough, I can finish it. I've done 1 half marathon, and that was a couple years ago, and basically I trained myself for that, and I did it the wrong way. I was already training for the Army 10-miler, and I was like, well, it's just like 3.1 more miles, so whatever, you'll be fine. Don't train for an actual half marathon, which you're actually going to run. And yeah, after that I felt like death, and it took a few months for me to get back into it, but a couple of years later I'm jumping back into it again. I am very slow. I have not gotten over 4 miles just yet. I tried to do 5 miles this past weekend, didn't go so well. I have a lot more stuff that kind of goes in with the whole running issues, but I'll save that for another day. Honestly, just getting outside, getting fresh air, enjoying the beautiful weather when we have it, and getting out of my home office is all that I really need. So for me, running has been great. That's what I have been doing for self-care. Now the bonus, and this is the very last thing, is name a book coming out soon. And I wanted to choose a book that maybe wasn't getting a lot of hype, but I'm not good at that, and I found one and I was like, this is one that I may actually buy. This is a book that I would consider as one of my few book purchases for the year. And that is Death in Her Hands by Otessa Moshfegh. And it's coming out June 23rd this year, so it's going to be a great spooky, suspenseful summer read. I'll just read you the first part of the little blurb that is on the Penguin website. While on her daily walk with her dog in the nearby woods, our protagonist comes across a note, handwritten and carefully pinned to the ground with stones. And the note says, "Her name was Magda. Nobody will ever know who killed her. It wasn't me. Here is her dead body." What? That sounds so good. Like, that sounds something that is down my alley. So there we go. That is the stay-at-home booktube tag. I can't even remember the name of that. I'm going to link all of that stuff down below. Check out Princess of Paperback, who created this tag. Check out Cozy Reads, who indirectly tagged me in this. And I highly suggest you do this tag. I tag you if you're watching this. Feel free to do this tag, even if you don't want to record a video. Leave your answers down to the prompts below. I would love to see what you put. So I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you find something wonderful to read, to listen to, and I hope that you find a way to get out and that you're staying safe and well. All right. Thank you.